To be so kind.
Father, please go through this meeting. Know our hearts. Giving us another chance. Here today. So I will be careful to give you all the praise. Thank you, Father. It's another chance. We ask this in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll go ahead and call to order. Roll call. Councilman London.
Present.
Councilwoman Cuellar.
Here.
Councilman Box.
Here.
Councilman Sims.
Present.
And myself present as well. All right. At this time, I'd look for an approval of the minutes from the regular city council meeting on February 20th of 2024.
Motion we approve the minutes for February 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No nays, no abstentions. Okay. At this time, look to see the bills moved.
Make a motion, we pay the current bills in the amount of $545,134.22.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have one comment that I wanted to make on page 3. It appears to be a pencil error, but I wanted to mention that to the city clerk on page 3, going all the way to the bottom. The second vendor from the bottom, it's the Gall, this is flashlights, and it's coded to uniform expense. That's for our civic center. Can we make that correction?
Any other comments on expenses?
Yes, I didn't see anything else. I'll be discussing the next thing as we move on.
Fair enough.
So I'm good.
Okay. Mayor's not with us this evening. Clerk, I would be remiss. Do you have any reports?
Did we vote the bills?
We did pay the bills. Her comment was after the approval.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. No report from the clerk? All right, fair enough. All right, we'll get into, let's see here, we'll go into, it's interesting, council members, standing committees, public comments. Without the mayor's report, we'll go ahead and get into the council member reports. Councilman London, we'll start with you.
Thank you, sir. First of all, good evening to everyone. So glad to see you here tonight.
evening.
A couple of things. I know I think Chief Wiggins is here. I think I saw him back there. I know we've been talking about the speeding bumps on Pine View Road. Maybe we can get together afterwards and have a conversation about the speeding in Pine View. Kind of get an update on the speeding in Pine View, on Pine View Road, early mornings, children getting on the buses. We can talk about it later if that's okay. That's okay with you.
We've been doing traffic enforcement
Yeah.
on some of the areas we've gotten calls on.
I appreciate that. And then also, Lee, you can get with Randy on this. Garbage cans are still being left after garbage is being picked up. Can we start getting those garbage cans picked up? That means someone stayed during the whole week. I think they're leaving the garbage can on the side of the road and taking their garbage to the road from the house. So if you don't mind, that's not direction. That's not an order. Just want to make sure that's on camera. But this is a positive. This past weekend, I witnessed something that it made my heart feel real good. This past weekend, I witnessed a citizen bringing out water, Gatorade, coffee for our fire department. But as the day went on, They started bringing it for the police, public works, and the different departments of City of Irondale. And even though that was a great occasion, it was also sad when I thought about it that from public view, that we collecting water made us looks like that the City of Irondale couldn't afford Gatorade and water to pay our public works, fire department, and our it's all about our people. So it was even though it was great, it was also sad. But what I would like to do, because I don't want people to thinking that we can't afford water and Gatorade for our city employees. On next council meeting, I would love to bring up a resolution, April, to see how we can afford that to all of our people. Maybe I had to get a HE opinion where we need to do, but we need to make sure that all of our city employees, our public works, our fire, our guys that cut the grass, because it's getting hot right now, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of. So I would love to get with you for the next meeting to bring up a resolution to provide those things for our city employees. So there won't be any questions. There won't be any question that we care about our people, and we want to do the best thing for our employees here at the City of Irondale. And in the words of the great Allen Iverson, when he talked about practice, 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 do you want to hear it from me when he's talking about coffee, coffee, coffee? You won't ever to hear that from me again. So I would like to get with you before the next meeting and come up with a resolution so we can come up with something to afford that to all of our employees. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilwoman Cuellar.
Being here. First announcement I want to make is we are having a District 3 Community Updates meeting on March 11th here at City Hall at 6 p.m. And I look forward, this came as a result of constituents that have been asking me since last year if this could be possible. And my schedule has been really, really tight. And I jumped on it, got to make sure that the City Hall was available. And so I look forward to meeting with District 3 constituents to provide them with the updates that they are requesting. The second item I wanted to mention is that we do have a CDA board vacancy. This is a 4-year term, and the deadline to submit your resume to our city clerk is Tuesday, March 12th, 5 p.m., right? Is that right, Lee? Okay. Tuesday, March 12th at 5 p.m. And they have a great group of people that are serving on the board, and look forward to taking a look at the resumes of those who are interested in filling this vacancy. The third item I would like to make has to do with some comments that were made by the Senior Activities Center's interim director to the Men's Coffee Group. And I'm making these comments because I received phone calls from some of my constituents after the interim director at the Senior Activity Center told them that, quote, thanks to Councilwoman Cindy Cuellar, we're now going to have to pay $25 for coffee. These were and are erroneous comments. The Men's Coffee Group is an activity that has been taking place at our Senior Activity Center for many, many years. And they do not have to pay a $25 fee for coffee. If this were true, someone would be pocketing not only the money that the city has always budgeted.
Point of order. Keep it to the report, please, Councilwoman Cuellar. Point of order. Keep it to a report.
That is a fact. We have budgeted money for our Senior Activity Center. There is no need to be collecting $25 from our senior citizens. This is an activity.
Did you just accuse them
Let
of
us
stealing
put
money?
these spaces.
That's why I'm asking her to stay to a report.
That is a
Thank you.
report.
You just.
It
accused
sound
him of stuff.
to me from this end, you are making accusations, and I caution your language.
Yeah.
Our residents have contacted me and said this is what they were told. I am making it clear to them, these are baseless facts. They do not hold ground. This council has always provided the funding that the senior activity needs for its activities. And this includes the men's coffee brew. So let us put these baseless words behind us. And let's move forward of helping our residents who have been going there for many years to enjoy their time together and their fellowship together. And the next comment that I did want to make, and this is piggybacking on what Councilor London has said, that is in regard to the water, Gatorade, and the coffee. I do have a request for an AG opinion for this. And as I've noted to our city attorney, the selected readings do say that coffee cannot be purchased. Now, I've also been told, well, you know, this is likened to getting pens and paper for the employees. They need to have it as part of their job responsibilities, their performance. And my response to that is nowhere in the selected readings and nowhere in the handbook that we've been given that it specifically states that we cannot buy pens and paper for our employees. But it does state that we cannot buy coffee. And so this is an issue of conscience for me. It is not Cindy Cuellar trying to be mean or anything. It's someone who's aware of what the selected readings state. So it is a matter of conscience for me. And while I do respect the legal opinion of our city attorney, there has to be clarity and consistency. And it is why I would like the state's chief legal advisor to examine this. Because I do believe that he will take the issues that I, along with the city attorney, have discussed. Because what I've stated to her is, you know, if we're gonna do it for the fire department, let's do it for the public works department. Let's do it for our water department. Let's do it for our police officers who are out there at wee hours of the night with rain and cold weather in a ditch trying to stop a water main break. Let's do it for them. too.
Point of order, Councilwoman Cuellar. I appreciate the explanation, but please keep it to a report. You're expounding and expounding and expounding.
Council President Spivey, you allow Councilor London to go on with his.
No, not 10 minutes.
Wanting to get with the city attorney and wanting to do this because it looked bad.
Keep
And
it.
I want to make it clear, this is a matter of conscience for me.
And he stated his reason why. You have stated your reason why. You are now repeating your reason for about the third time. So what I'm saying is, I can understand having a reason. I'll allow the reason and expounding on that, but we're repeating ourselves. So I want to keep it efficient. I want to keep it to a report.
All right, the report is that I do have a proposal for an AG opinion on this very issue, which covers all of our departments.
Thank you.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Box?
I'd like to thank the Senior Activity Center Director, Public Works Director, the Abatement Board, Police and Fire for all the hard work they do. Ms. Sutton and I have been trying to work out our schedule to meet together, and after she and I meet, we'll be calling a Senior Citizens Committee meeting together. Briefly on the coffee, the water, the Gatorade, I run a business, and if I don't provide coffee, water, and Gatorade to my workers, that can be considered a health and safety and can open up for a lawsuit. I don't think it even has to be a question of why. We don't need the AG's opinion. We just need to do the right thing. That is.
Councilman Sims?
Thank you everyone for coming. I'd also like to thank the Chamber, Holiday Gardens Neighborhood Association, and the Irondale Community Foundation for assisting in the collection of all this stuff out here. And I think there's some stuff out there too. The amazing citizens of Irondale came and gave, I think, today and last Saturday. I know some of y'all were out there helping out, so thank y'all also. Um, I think, like I said before, I trust our city attorney that providing needed water, Gatorade, coffee for our first responders, anybody out in the hot and the cold, doing their job, so that we, as the citizens of the city, can have water and have our trash picked up and have a awake firemen show up if we need them at 3 a.m. I don't need an attorney general to tell me that's the right thing to do. My conscience is clear, and just thank everybody for supporting our city. This is the first month. Next week will be a Holiday Gardens Neighborhood Association meeting, Tuesday at the Senior Activity Center at 6:30, I believe. And if you're in Holiday Gardens, come out. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I want to talk about, I want to report on what occurred on Saturday in front of City Hall. We had about 10 to 12 volunteers show up. If you volunteered and you are in the room, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you very much. I also just thank y'all very much. I got down here about 9 o'clock and it was rolling. We had some people show up throughout that time till about noon, and it was wonderful. To any of the organizations like the Chamber, Neighborhood Association, any of the other organizations that drove this, if y'all would also please stand up. Chamber of Commerce, Holiday Gardens, Irondale Community Foundation. All right. Thank you so much for that, for organizing. I know after I got home from the last meeting, I texted Kim. I was like, we gotta figure something out. And it was amazing how many of our community partners came to the same epiphany all together. And by the time I even started having a conversation, things were already in motion. So I just want to thank the community for taking care of our responders during this time of question. This time of questions brought up because some reports on the expenses from the previous council meeting. There was some uncertainty around whether or not they were going to be able to continue to afford these, so the citizens stepped up and made it happen. So AG opinion, no AG opinion, whatever. I think the citizens definitely have our first responders and our sanitation, water. I think y'all have their back, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for stepping up, and thank you for allowing me to join you guys on Saturday. I thank you very much. I would love it if some of the department heads would come on up. If I could just snag a quick picture of y'all that will be directly benefiting from this, I'd love to just take a picture. Some of y'all that don't like to come on down, come on down. We don't have our normal camera person, so I'm gonna.
So you can do it? You can do it?
Chamber, come on, yeah, come on, Neighborhood Association, any of y'all, any of the organizations. Hey, come on down, volunteers, let's go.
Yes, ma'am. Take a picture.
One more round of these guys. And for yourselves, if you donate. Appreciate you. And that concludes my report this evening. Before I move on, any comments or reports from any committees or non-council boards? Nope. Okay. We'll go ahead and move this time into any public comments on non-agenda items. I know this is a change for us. These are non-agenda items that we're commenting on.
You could pass these out for me, I appreciate it. Does anyone recognize what this is? Okay. It is my professional engineering licensing stamp used in my private.
Order in the room, please, so we can hear the gentleman.
This is my professional engineering licensing stamp used in my private and federal jobs. It's my credibility. This is my credibility to speak on technical issues such as last meeting. It was noted the bid for the library was $1.4 million below the $10 million budget. Apparent savings, not totally correct. The low bid should always fall 10 to 15% below the engineer's budget estimate, as the engineer includes contingency dollars with that money available for construction cost changes and money for delays due to weather. So the final cost estimate at project completion is the true indicator if the project falls below the budgeted estimate. It could fall above. For true cost savings, sole source contracts should never be approved, be it for professional services or trucks, because competition yields 20 to 30% savings in our tax money. When a sole source contract occurs, it not only lends itself to profiteering, but also invites strong political allegiance. I saw it. I'll add, I would be fired in my former job as a federal manager if I approved tax money for coffee and car washes for employees, $300 per month office meals, reimbursements without detailed receipts, and sole source professional service contracts in lieu of RFPs. And I'll close by citing the University of Alabama spending policy on prohibited expenditures. Even Coach Nick Saban was not allowed to use university funds, similar to city funds, for coffee and soft drinks. I just passed out a copy. You can see.
This is agenda item.
It is actually not an agenda item.
What the heck is
Order,
this all
order.
about?
Come on, I'll give you your time back. This actually is not an agenda item. This item is not up for debate this evening. He is in the right lane.
All right, before I was rudely interrupted. You've got the Alabama spending policy that I handed out. Section 3, prohibited expenses. If you read the last bullet, it says coffee, cups, napkins, things for university employees. It is a non-allowable expense.
Thank you. Any other comments on non-agenda items? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good
I'd
evening.
like to give you all a copy of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Marcia Kelly Sutton, and I'm the interim executive director for the Senior Activities Center. And I'd like to get a couple of things straight too. That before I was accused of stealing or slandering somebody else's name, I'm sitting here like, wow. The men's coffee is something that was going on before I got there. If you look at the form I just gave you, this is from June 28, 2023. I came to the center in September. And I think I spoke probably first part of January. We had signs up. Before I did, I met with the city clerk, Lee Ellison, and I met with the city attorney to go over everything in this particular form. It was done before I got there. And the $25 was not for coffee for the men. I was told that Men Coffee was a group that started with 25, then it started dwindling down. So the first time, when Councilwoman Kuhler said 12 sausage biscuits, 8 sausage biscuits, and I laughed because it's like, that's me. And I do. I love the fact that you want people to be accountable. So therefore, in doing the $25 membership fee, I checked on other senior facilities around us, and there are also membership fees. I spoke with the Men's Coffee when Daryl Franklin is the only one of the group who paid. And when he came in, handed him a cup of coffee, Pete Cry came in, got a cup of coffee for him. I don't drink coffee. Where the sausage biscuits. Well, whenever we do something at the center, because I want to be accountable, I have a list of people. You sign up the day before I purchase a lunch or the day before I do anything if money's being spent. When I say, well, how many are coming? Oh, we don't know. Just buy 12 biscuits. Just buy, oh, I don't know. So the Irondale, Miss Carolyn, can't think of your last name, approached me, yeah, the Irondale Foundation, and they said, well, if you're doing this, we'd like to scholarship some people who aren't able to pay. I had at least 5 people in the center who go there, and I've had 3 people to be scholarshiped. To date, we have 20 people who've paid the $50 who live outside the city of Irondale, and we have another 45 who have paid the $25. It was put in place because there were people coming to the center and there was no place for the residents to come. I mean, that little room in the back that everybody lives would be packed out. I have not heard many complaints. I'm sorry that the men's coffee, and I walked in and I'm just gonna be totally honest. And I heard the statement, they're trying to run us out. I talked to Daryl Franklin earlier to say, Mr. Franklin, what can we do? What other activities would you like? How do you think we can get people to come in to be a part of this center? I have not stolen. I have not slandered your name. And I did say, I have to be accountable. When she started talking about the number of biscuits, if I got 2 names on something and I got 12 biscuits, I'm in error. And that's the way I look at it. Mr. Franklin said he understood, don't buy 2 biscuits for him. Pete Cry said he don't drink coffee. Mr. Franklin had 2 cups, and that was the end of it. Now, I don't have a problem doing what I'm told because this is a job. And I don't have a problem following instructions. But before I did anything, I went to the people that the mayor told me to go to. I've not had a conversation with the mayor about this. I didn't think I had to. I have not mentioned your name with the exception of saying I have to be accountable because of how you work. And that was it. But to tell somebody they had to pay $25 to pay for coffee because you said so, never came from my mouth. Thank you.
And for the record, I'm going to include that as a department head report. So just for the record, that will be entered in as a department head report. It's a department head report. We don't respond to your reports. You don't respond to a department head report. Thank you.
No response.
That was a report.
No response.
Me out.
We never
And I do
respond.
need to
We
respond.
never respond to the floor.
That is a report from a department head. It does not deserve a response.
No, she needs to understand.
we
that
never
I
respond to the
asked
floor.
question On the receipts.
Rules of order would say that if it's a report, it doesn't necessarily warrant a response.
Me out. I was asking about receipts.
Point of order, I want to hear from legal. And I'm making the policy that if it's a report, it deserves no reply. So,
Because I asked for a reason on those
We never
receipts.
respond to
The
reports.
receipts
Thank
do
you.
not
and I believe that you received your reason 2 or 3 meetings ago when you brought the expenses up. We're going to continue to move on.
Thank you.
Any other comments? We are going to move on. I understand your desire to see the receipts. I get that. You explained yourself very well 2 to 3 meetings ago when this was initially brought up. I understand that. There is gossip in the community. She addressed the gossip in her report. There's no need to perpetuate it. Any other comments on non-agenda items?
Point of order on this, Council President. Correct me if I'm wrong, legal, but points of order from the gallery, I don't believe are permitted either.
No, they're not.
I think
It's
we need to address
yeah,
that
that's
right now going forward.
Right.
because I know everybody's passionate, and that's great.
Yeah.
We need to be passionate. But to interrupt the the proceedings is not appropriate. Even if we disagree with what a person's saying, we need to hear what they have to say, and then as Council President says, move on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the observation. Yes, sir.
As a long-term resident of Irondale, it's to me, it seems like we need to be very cautious about the capital projects that we're embarking on. The tens of millions of dollars that are required is a lot for a city our size and the revenue that we have here. I applaud progress. I'm all for progress. It's been stated that the funding for these projects will be through the public building, is it PBA, I believe, which would take the loans out, and then they would issue warrants and bonds, which the city would then lease these properties back and pay off some of these loans and warrants. PBAs generally are formed in other cities for emergency purposes, not just for capital projects. And I would just caution you guys to just evaluate these projects very carefully and make sure that we have enough revenue coming in, because ultimately, even though the PBA would take out these loans, the city's going to be responsible for guaranteeing them. So that's all I would like to say. Thank you.
Noted.
Thank you.
Any other comments on non-agenda items?
Good evening. I'm Kimberly Miles Stewart, 4030 Nicole Drive, Irondale, Alabama. And I do want to address gossip in the community. Not so much gossip, but incorrect information. I think as leaders, especially for you all that sit on the dais, it is important that you disseminate, be it electronically, in person, however you disseminate your information, that it's correct. I did receive an email, maybe by accident, from Councilor Cuellar, and it was riddled with incorrect information. So any of you, District 3, if you received that email that stated that the mayor directed Marsha Kelly Sutton from the Senior Center to change the fees, to tell people that blame her. Mayor Stewart was in Tbilisi, Georgia. Mayor Stewart never talked with her. So as she stated, she spoke and met with the legal counsel. She met with Lee. James never met with Marsha Kelly Sutton. So as you continue to create dots on a paper to connect, make sure it's the truth, because you sent that email stating Mayor Stewart did this, Mayor Stewart did this, Mayor Stewart did none of those. So when you disseminate information, that's all I'm asking from any of you. It is important that it's correct, it's not biased, it's not filled with hate. Just make sure it's correct. Thank you.
Thank you. No. There was not a question asked.
I would
There's no
like
need to
a
respond
copy
to
of that
point
email.
order.
I did
Councilwoman
not send
Cuellar.
out an email such as what
Councilwoman
she
Cuellar,
is
if
claiming.
I
would
will
like to
have you
see that.
removed,
That is
Councilwoman
public
Cuellar.
record. I would like to
Councilwoman
see it.
Cuellar right now. Motion for adjournment. Motion for adjournment.
Second.
Second. All right, voice vote. Councilman London?
Yes.
I just got here.
Sorry, love.
You can't wait.
Nope.
Thank y'all.
That's an affirmative from Councilman London.
Yes.
Councilwoman
you.
Cuellar? Yes or no for adjournment?
Yes, we're fine. Let's adjourn.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
Councilman Sims?